afternoon. This is the knitting news from Knit Happens Teesside for the 37th week of 2024. Last night at knitting, Helen was making violas. For her spring garden blanket, lap blanket for her mum. And she really does need, well, she says she really wants to get it done now. Because there's things that she wants to start for Christmas presents. So there's projects she wants to start, so she wants to get this done. And it is more or less done. It can be done whenever she likes, can't it? But she's going to make a few violas and some more, one more daffodil, I think it is. She's got daffodils in the corner. So that's what Helen was up to. We had a flick through some baby books, and she plans to make a cardigan for a friend's daughter from this book. I've been looking at baby knitting, but I haven't finished. But what I did do is I took along my, not complete stash, but my stash of bits of balls of baby wool that there's one or two of, to decide what to do with my cardigan. I haven't decided, well, I have kind of decided, but I haven't done it. So one of the things I'm going to make next is this, because it's got such a good neck on it. I just have to decide on the colours for that one. It's obviously been, I pulled it out of a magazine. Mattelot sweater, and it's by Sublime. I make the wool. It's Serdar Sublime, I think, isn't it? Yes, the wool, the yarn that is used for it is, and I may have some, but it won't matter because it's double knit, and that cat's been sleeping on my bed all week, and there's a few cat hairs on there. But that's honestly the least of my worries to getting a full night's sleep. Baby cashmere merino silk double knit. Very nice. So that's what I plan to do. This is Stylecraft Baby 4-ply, which is very good for baby knits, and it is 100% acrylic. I've used it before, and I'm going to make a bonnet, booties, and maybe, well, I'd get quite a lot out of that, wouldn't I? Because it's 100 grams, and acrylic weighs less than wool, so you get more in a ball. So I'll have to see, because I haven't decided entirely. Now, the cardigan, I got a couple of suggestions for making the sleeves shorter. But you see, baby's due in January and it will be really cold. And might be a long baby, so might have long arms. I would say it'll probably be a long baby. Mum and Dad are both quite tall, unlike me. Now, when I was looking through my odd bits of balls, it was good to get them all out and see which would go best. Now, what I've decided I'm going to have a go at is, now, doesn't pink and grey go nicely? Not sure about the colours in here. Finishing off, so it'll have a band around the neck that might be an inch, might be less. And then, if that looks a little bit odd, I thought I would do sort of a crochet edge or something round, or even just along the bottom and round the cuffs. That's the plan there. And talking about crochet edges, you'd think I was professional, wouldn't you? Except for saying and well and all that. That's an oddball. So that will be a hat and booties maybe. I've got 2 balls of this, but it's 3-ply. I think they hid it somewhere. Yeah, 3-ply, fairy tale, Peyton's fairy tale. Lovely yarn. Would knit up really well, I'm sure. That's the hat. That's one of the bonnets I'm going to make. I'm going to make that with the cream. I've done it before. And I think in here, and in one of my books, I have some baby shoes. Oh, there's somebody out the door. Those shoes. Can't remember if I showed you before. That's just a little knitting pamphlet from the Daily Mail, who must be the same publishers that make a knitting magazine. But talking about edges, crocheted edges, I finished my Smooth Fox Beginners. Oh, my face was big then, didn't it? Oof, you don't want to watch that on a big screen. Smooth Fox Beginners Round Ripple Crochet Blanket is finished. And I've made an edge on it. Now, I tried... there was a bobble edging on YouTube. I looked through all my books. I couldn't find anything. I'll probably find it later. I've got too many books, too many magazines. They need to be gone through. But I found Hooked by Robin. Now, she did a nice bobble edging, but I didn't like it on this blanket. I found another one that was kind of like... It's a bit like the star stitch, but it's just the edge. So it goes along. I do hope I'm not getting a cold. This is, you'll never guess, hot chocolate. Not just any hot chocolate, but Rington's hot chocolate. Rington's are the company that deliver to your doorstep. And they also make jelly babies. And the green one, well, the jelly geriatrics, I think. And the green one's a knitter. But it's a little bit hard to tell. I'll put it on the screen for you. So this is what I ended up with. A shell edging. I will try a little bit harder to put some actual links in the what you call it. Well, people say down below, but it's not always, is it? Sometimes on my iPad, it's always on one of the sides. Anyway, in the notes, I will put. It's Tiara Lace Crochet Shell Edging. But I'll put a link in. So Jill wasn't there last night because she had something quite exciting to go to. She went to, it's Lucy Adlington and Lucy Ridley. And it's the History Wardrobe. And they had 100 years of fashion from the Edwardian grandeur to 1980s shell suits. They had an actual shell suit. In between somewhere, there was probably, that was probably where you would have found a knitted swimming costume. So she really enjoyed that. They'd had an exhibition on, so this was to, I think it was to round off the exhibition. I think it was at the end of the exhibition. That's really nice, that. So baby blanket, done. Except for sewing the ends in. My least favourite job. I am wearing... I have worn this top before. Probably not that long ago. It's made with Andean mist, which, if you look on eBay, costs an absolute fortune. And somehow I came across it for a really good price. And I put a search on my eBay, and I even got some more. And so I've got some put away somewhere that's like a navy, like maybe a French navy. And this is, believe it or not, a Marie Wallin design. I think she'd obviously made it in a kid silk lace. But so long as it's nothing too bulky, it's going to work. Oh, and it actually has detail on the back as well, which is good, isn't it? Because when you look in a shop, all the detail is on the front. I don't think I'd ever buy anything from a shop. A top or a dress from a shop that only has the detail on the front, like a print or some sequins, or if I was that way inclined. And then I had nothing, just a plain back. So cheapskatey. I've also been wearing Birds of a Feather. I had no intentions of making this particularly. I had seen it, but I wasn't thinking of making it. I saw it on a stall at one of the wool festivals, and it was the pack of yarn. So this is silk merino, and that's kid silk, and it's been hand dyed. Oh, and it's just, it's not quite the same colour as my top. It's just light. It's really, really light. And really, really warm. And I bought the yarn pack because of the colours. And the lady on the stall said, that's to make birds of a feather. So I came home and had a look and thought, well, yes, I think I will make that. I like that it's not too deep in the middle. And it's by Andrea Mowry, if you don't know, which is Dreary Knits or something. Dreary Knits. I think it might be named after her children. Anyhow, that's what I'm wearing. One of the things I'm working on when I should be doing baby knits is for Neil from Blocked magazine. He sent me this Tunisian crochet. Ooh. The thing about Tunisian crochet, or any crochet really, isn't you don't have to worry that much, do you, about your needle falling out. This has got, it's because I'm using 2 hooks. On this cable, and I set off on my merry way making this top down raglan Tunisian crochet in the round jumper, but the back seam was migrating to the left, so it took us a little bit of fathoming out why mine was doing that. And Neil had not thought to mention that you need to use 2 balls of yarn at the same time when you're working in the round with Tunisian, which I didn't know. I've only done 1 flat piece of Tunisian before now. But what I am doing is working out nicely. And this is made with Toft alpaca. Gorgeous yarn. But the Toft lady just seems to make animals with it. Anyway, it was from a friend's stash. That's Tim coming in. This wool was in a friend's stash. And one of the balls was 2 balls wound together. So this friend obviously wanted something a bit thicker. So I thought, well, Tim's got 2 hands and I've got 2 hands. So we'll wind our balls together. Which we did. Though he needs a certain degree of supervision. He's just come in. I don't know if you can hear me or not. So I'll show you our balls. Obviously, I had to get the wool winder out because Tim's ball was wound really tightly and it would have really crushed all the wool, the shape. So I got the wool winder out and wound. So my ball was the round one and his ball was the quite a unique shape of you do get balls of yarn that colour. I mean that shape. But yes, it's very nice and soft. And that's the raglan. And I've used a little I've used the cat stitch markers that I put on the that I bought at the North East Wool Show to mark the raglans. So that's coming along nicely. The only other thing was, back to Jill. You know how she likes to make lace weight cardigans, and one specific lace weight cardigan that goes sideways, that's Debbie Bliss Rialto lace, which is discontinued, I think, or Jill thinks, or Jill knows, and I thought it was. So she's bought some up. So she's got a few different colours to go at, and a few different cardigans. I hope they were a bargain. Pets. Lottie went for a check-up after she'd had 5 teeth removed. They'd sent her home last week with some painkillers. I could absolutely tell that she didn't need them. We went on the beach the morning after she'd had her teeth out, and she was jumping around like silly. So I didn't give her them, and she's fine. And she doesn't need a follow-up appointment because the vet can see that I'm actually paying attention to my dog, and I know she's okay. If she did show any sign of being in pain, I would know about it, because I've got my eye on her now. So she's okay. Moxie's the same as normal. And Millie's all right. And earlier, the sun was shining, which is a bit of a miracle at the moment. Our weather changed as soon as the 1st of September came. We've had very heavy rain, fog, mist, endless drizzle, cold, wind, and like the week before, it really was quite nice. But as you can see, the sun's out today. So I went in the greenhouse for 5 minutes with my Tunisian crochet. And all the animals followed me. So I managed to get a picture of them all together. And I do think that Millie's feeling a lot more comfortable with them 2 doggies, because she kind of lies near them when she gets on the bed as well. I think that's about it, so that's all my news for this week, unless I suddenly think of something. Some more news, maybe, next week.